Hi, this is Linda. I'm here with Jerry Galkey today to talk about how Jerry, I noticed, there were weather delays this week caused by rain and planting. What will that mean overall to this crop?
Well, this is May, and it rains in May and April and June. And June is actually our wettest month, I think, in some of the key Midwestern states. But it rained in some places a lot. We had 4 inches in Rockford, so we will not get back to spraying again until Monday or Tuesday. But it's interesting, we're still wet. I kind of look for a change to drying, and we're still wet like we were last year, except this year we got in earlier and we got the beans all done and everything. But if you think back at last year, we had the same kind of weather pattern almost. If you just didn't get out and get it done, this 4-inch rain made it real difficult. There's one thing in driving a sprayer over the top of corn stalks and over top of ground. There's another one trying to pull a planter through that stuff. So this will delay some things, but I think the majority of the corn was in, and again, looking out after this weekend, it's going to get really nice. And in fact, some weather guys are talking about this omega high coming in and being really nice and really drying, and some wind through the end of for about a week, and then many of them are taking it out by the end of May. So what I'm kind of looking over my shoulder is this stuff has gone too easy, and we haven't had a drought since 1988. So when we start talking omega highs right now, that's negative to the market because the crop's going to get off to a fabulous start. And but we don't want one to lock in. But I think we're a month away from somebody talking about getting hot and dry and not leaving us. So I think it's good news. Further north in North Dakota, they finally got into the field. We're finally working in the field in North Dakota, and I think it's getting too late to plant corn. They're nervous about last year, so I think we'll see some switching from corn to soybeans up there, and probably getting too late to plant any more spring wheat. But it's been a real tough battle in the western half of North Dakota, actually, in the northern third as well. Similar to, actually worse than last year. More water up there, but they don't count too much until we don't have enough. But there'll be some switching up there for sure. But otherwise, I think it's normal, and we need to see a rain once in a while just to prove we can still do it.
Okay. The other thing that's really still in we're seeing buying and then rumors of buying elsewhere. What do you got in China?
Well, this week their government arm, they call it, is COFCO, which is into the circus now of saying that they had originally bought some corn for the millers, which we knew they were buying corn for small millers who needed some corn and so forth, and they've admitted to doing that, and of course they bought more, and once that government entity gets in, you can expect them just to kind of continue to buy, and I think once they purchase some, and again, it's kind of depending upon their crop, because they were late in getting their crop in, and now they're getting some rain that helps beneficial planting of it. And what a lot of people don't quite understand is that Chinese farmers don't farm 1,000 acres. They'll farm, if they can't get in because it's too dry or too wet, they will plant these seeds in pots like we would a tomato plant in the house and let them get started, and then transfer them outside. So they can get a lot done if the weather opens up. But a lot of rumors about China continuing to be in the market. We have contacts in Geneva, Switzerland, who work with the people in China. They know some of them personally. They're saying very, very difficult to comprehend that China's only going to buy a little. So they think they're going to be just in there for a while, and if our price of corn jumps up, then they'll probably back off. And if the price gets cheap enough, they'll buy more. There's some talk that the crop over there has gotten such a late start that some of the on-ground people are saying it's not going to be as good as last year even. And last year that we think they were down, and they're thinking instead of 160 million metric tons, it might be more like 145. So I think the real surge would come if that crop gets bad, and then they won't really know that till we're harvesting our crop next fall, and then the real push could come next year. But I think they're in this market, and it's wherever we go with these grains, if financials affect one way, then I think China will be in there to buy, regardless of their financial situation. They seem to want grain. It's inelastic, so to speak. The higher the price doesn't necessarily stop them from buying. They need to keep food in front of their people, especially if their economy would slow down a little. So I think they're in it for a while, and and probably for hereafter, just to how much and when they're going to buy is the key. One thing that was a little negative to the market was that when they announced the purchases, they said for delivery from June through September. That's not the kind of buying that you would suspect would keep a bull market going. You would like to see them buying today, saying we need the grain in 30 days, or by June delivery, and not talk about July or August or September. So it gives a person an indication that maybe they're doing this just to get grain shaken loose from internally to keep their prices from going up too much higher, but they keep ramping it up and internally. So I'm not so sure yet that this isn't a scare tactic for internally, at least in the short run,